guys, if you don't know this, I've talked about it a lot. Everybody in Los Angeles has stomach problems. Everyone's got like IBS, or everyone's like gluten intolerant. I don't know what it is. It's like we're so fucking healthy here, and yet everyone's like either shitting all the time or can't shit.
Oh my God.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Hi, everybody. We are doing our best. I'm Busy Phillips. This is Busy Phillips is doing her best. I'm joined, per usual, by Casey St. Ange.
Hello.
My partner in crime. A woman that always is doing her best.
Wow.
You are 100% always doing your best. 100% of the time. I believe that to be true about you.
I appreciate you.
Our guest co-host nodding in agreement. It's none other than Mr. Tom Lenk.
Tom Lenk!
Hi,
Tommy Lenk.
Hey, hello.
Always doing your best, Tommy.
I mean, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. It may not be someone else's best, but I'm trying and failing. Loud and proud, strong but wrong.
You know what I always say about doing your best? I always say that doing your best is the thing that we should all strive for. But if doing your best means that you're a dick to other people, that's not doing your best. That's just an excuse for being a dick to other people. And then you have to reevaluate yourself. You know what I mean? That's my feeling.
Which, by the way, you never are.
Tom? I'm not saying Tom. What? No. I'm saying for the,
yeah. Obviously.
It just made me think that I have a voiceover audition that's probably due today, and I probably forgot to do it for someone who's a dick. And I'm like, I can't believe this dick decided they need a cartoon. And like, would I be working? Like, am I selling my soul to audition for this? Because I've openly said how dickish this person is. And are you
doing the new Louis C.K. cartoon? Is that what you're auditioning for?
Does he have a cartoon?
Could you imagine?
You guys,
could you imagine if he had a cartoon?
I actually
that might be the only way he comes back.
I kind of can imagine him having a fucking. Wait, did he have a cartoon? You guys, I'm not even kidding you.
That was Little Louie. That was.
Which I loved. I've been watching it with my son over quarantine. Life with Louie.
Yeah.
Louie Anderson.
That is what I'm thinking
hilarious.
of. That is what I'm thinking of.
It's hilarious because we love Louie Anderson from Baskets. We watch a show that was just Christine Baskets. It's the best television character in recent history.
Never seen that show. I
haven't either.
Oh my God, you have to watch it just for Louie Anderson as Christine Baskets, the most sympathetic, amazing character. I just love Louie Anderson so much. But but I loved the Life with Louie cartoon. And so I've been watching it with my son. Anyway. But wait, I just want to give a refresher to the listeners at home. I'm sure you know, Busy always hates when I remind people of things, but I like to remind people.
Well, I just feel like it's rude to the guest. Because I'm like, Tom needs no refresher introduction. He is literally
also Busy. Remember that like people would be like, I'm the biggest fan of Busy Tonight. And you'd be like, okay, what is your favorite episode? And they'd be like, oh, I've never watched it. And
that's true. That is true.
They'd be like,
Why was Busy Tonight canceled? I loved it so much. Oh, really? Which was your favorite episode? I don't know. I just saw like the white chicks dance off on your Instagram.
People are so dumb.
So anyway,
dumb.
So
yes, it should have continued.
As a refresher reminder, Tom Lenk is the genius who would come on Busy Tonight. And also, like, by the way, we didn't think of it. Tom was already doing this. He just would come on our show and do it for us as well. He would do Lenk's Lukes for Less, where he would dress up our writers and people from our show, like knock off Oscar looks using like stuff from the dollar store or trash or whatever. So he would dress up Shantira in like rubber gloves to like look like, I don't know, who did you dress Shantira as? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, as Billy Porter. in the weird in the tuxedo dress.
Yes.
Well, she got dressed up as a few things.
Yeah.
Here's
a
what I'm
few
going to say,
different things.
guys. I didn't do a visual learner's guide for the podcast last week because I just didn't feel like it was super necessary. But this week I will do another one, and included in it, I will post again some of our favorite looks for less from the Busy Tonight program that Tommy came on and did for us. But you know how Tom and I met? Also, you guys, you know that Tom's responsible for my entire fucking second act of my career. Tom, if I were you, honestly, I'm not even kidding you. Casey can attest to this. I'm so fucking sick of paying people commission for shit that I'm like, I'm doing this all myself. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But if anyone should take a fucking commission on anything, it's you on my goddamn career. Okay?
Okay.
So
I'll take it.
I'm not going to pay you, but I am giving you credit. I am giving
what's
you
the credit that I should?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Hey, here's this thing called Instagram Stories.
Okay, guys. Here's the backstory. We met through mutual friend Jenny Mullen Biggs. Jenny Mullen Biggs. Did she go by Jenny Biggs or Jenny Mullen?
I think Jenny Mullen Biggs,
I think. Oh,
wife of Mrs. Jason Biggs.
I think for like,
Or is it just Jenny
professionally,
Mullen?
I think professionally, she's just her original name. Let me look.
Her original name.
And
What
I
is-
always knew her as Jenny Mullen and Teets because that's her
Jenny and Teets.
Former-
That used to
former
be that
dog.
used to be her Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, her IG handle is still Jenny Mullen.
Okay, there we go.
And she changed it from Jenny and Teets to Jenny Mullen at a certain point because also Teets passed away. R.I.P.
Yeah,
Teets.
yeah.
A good dog. But Jenny and I went to high school together. We were like sort of like frenemies for years. We were a little bit like Lauren and who was the other one?
On the
From
hills?
the Hills. No, but from Laguna Beach in high school. It was Lauren and who was the other one? Oh my God. Kristen Cavalieri.
Kristen, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Lauren and Kristen. They were like the frenemies. They were like friends, but then like also not.
Sure.
And they like kind of like wanted to do the same thing in life, and they kind of are still doing the same thing in life. And that's like me and Jenny Mullen, only older and never on a reality show.
Yet.
But we love each other, but we do like love each other deeply and have like a very deep soul connection. And also I would just say this to anyone out there listening who maybe has someone like that in your life. You know, life takes a lot of unexpected twists, and like I think you always have to be open to the fact that sometimes those people can be a real connection to your past and where you came from, and can like you can like and it can inspire like a new depth of relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you don't have to just like immediately kick people out of your life ever, unless they're abusive. But that wasn't our case. Anyway, this is a sidebar we don't need to get into. The point being, Jenny and I have known each other since high school. You guys went to college together at UCLA?
Yeah.
And have been friends since then.
Yes.
And then Jenny wrote some books that were really funny, and then sold her book, I Like You Just the Way I Am, into a series, but then it was like a web series. I was confused. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it got sold to ABC Digital as a web series when they were trying to be like.
It was like early days before streaming was really like a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was before like Paramount TV and Disney, all that stuff.
And like
it was before
Netflix.
Cable got reverse engineered.
It was 5 years ago.
Oh, it's not that long ago.
Oh.
I was playing your husband.
They were funny. And she was playing basically like a heightened version of herself. And she asked me to play her sister, Sam. And then she asked you to be Sam's husband.
Who was based on a combination of different, I think, people that either Sam dated or that Jenny dated. I can't remember.
So we did this show, and it was like the kind of thing where I didn't know, at least, like exactly where it was going to live or how it was going to be seen or whatever. And I was in a place of like a career, like a crossroads in my career. And I had shot Cougar Town was over. I had shot Vice Principals. I was just like not really into acting anymore. Jenny asked me to do this thing. My agents and my manager at the time were like, why are you doing like a web series that you're not really even barely in? And I was like, because I don't know. I just want to do things with people that I like. And I feel like she and I have had such a really wild journey as friends. And I just want to like show up for her in this way. So whatever. You're not taking commission on this. Anyway. And we had the best time.
We were just hanging out.
It was the most fun 2 weeks or something. 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah. I have vivid memories of them saying, okay, and then this shot is of you eating Busy out.
Eating me out.
And I was like, okay, I can do this. And so I had to put, but
I was
there was no
nervous.
There was no prep for you. And
Either
so
one of us. I didn't know that was what was happening. It wasn't in the script.
And I had to be like, Busy, do I have your permission to invade your body space? Do I have your permission to, because I'm very nervous. Do I have your permission to, and I was like, I'm going to close my eyes and hold my breath. So like, in case, I don't know how lady things work. So, so I was.
Have you never had sex with a girl?
No.
I don't know. A lot of gay. Listen,
Busy. No.
Tom, a lot. Wait, listen. I will say this.
I think they call it
gold star
Gold
gay.
Star gay.
Yeah.
A gold star gay. I love it.
I love that. I'm telling Tom the term is gold star gay.
Well, I
thank
didn't
you
even
for
know there was a
refreshing.
term, but also I have a lot of gay friends who either sort of like felt like they couldn't come out or whatever. I don't know what your upbringing situation was. And a lot of times people are like, I couldn't come out. I had to have a girlfriend. I had to have sex with her. It was the worst experience.
My ex who he was, he went to medical school and was married to his wife who was also in medical school with him. And then like, they finally was like, I'm gay. But, oh gosh, it's hard to be that lady.
I don't know. I think it's easier. I think in a weird way, like if your marriage breaks up and I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it might be.
You guys don't at me. I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, I got to put my head up there. Didn't see anything. I don't have any memories of what it was like in there. I just have the memory of doing the thing.
Well, it wasn't like, you guys, this is literally for like an ABC web series. It wasn't like, there was nothing, like I was more intimate with Josh Jackson on Dawson's
No, it was just me like, putting my head under your dress. And
under my dress and moving his head back and forth.
My head around.
Tom, when you just mimed like what you did, like you mimed that you put your head under Busy's dress and then just moved your head around and it looked like you were eating corn on the cob.
In my mind, that's what it's like.
Which, by the way,
guys, let's be real.
Is that how most straight men are approaching it as well?
This is the deal. I have not had a woman go down on me, but I have had men, and they do sometimes, some of them do think it's just a corn cob down there. Just a fucking... They just corn cob it up.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
They're just waiting for like a little typewriter ding noise to go off when they get to the end.
Turns out the Bugs Bunny cartoon, when he's eating the corn on the cob, is what taught many men of my generation how to eat out a woman.
You know what I do remember though? I do remember it was really hot that day. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh God.
Oh, yeah.
That was part of it. I was like, oh God, am I like sweaty? And just like my vagina smell bad? Like, do I have like not my vagina, but like my crotch, like your
Yeah.
armpits smell? You know,
Yeah,
like
no, that's
like
what I
when
said.
it's
I was like, I'm not gonna
right. I know,
smell.
because it was real hot that day, and we had been like working all day. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't even have fucking fresh panties to throw on this bitch.
That's the
like,
thing. I
ugh.
figure if we were going to do a makeout scene, we'd both brush our teeth and have mints and things. And
That's
we didn't
exactly
have,
right. There's
we didn't have
no
the
pussy
equivalent
mints.
of
There's
that.
I don't
no
have
pussy.
the-
There's no
pussy
crotch
mint.
brush.
Oh my God. If you two don't invent the pussy mint, can you imagine
Guys-
like a Listerine
Guys,
strip?
I'm literally inventing a Listerine strip for your pussy right now as we speak. As we speak. And you know what it's made of? It's got CBD in it.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Because here's the
relaxes
thing.
you and freshens you.
People are always trying to sell things for inside your vagina. And as we know, the vagina is a self-cleaning oven.
Self-cleaning oven.
We have like years of like, conditioning to be made to feel bad about the way our vaginas smell. And like naturally our vaginas smell fine and they smell normal. But outside your vagina, like outside there's a lot of sweat glands that can, they get to smell funky and gym-like sometimes. So yeah, so you need maybe like a Listerine strip for outside.
This is the moment that the pussy Listerine strip was invented. I wanted to just capture it on camera.
By the way,
So that-
this might be going too far. How sexual are we allowed to be on your show?
We're allowed to say
However-
whatever we'd like. Although some people, I will say, do write that they listen to it like with their kids in the car or the room. And I'm always like, okay, well, I
that's on
swear
you.
a lot and this is on you. So guys,
Yeah. So
just
fast
wait,
forward
this
through
is-
the pussy section.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to add to that, gay sex trigger warning. I one time it was maybe the first time I experienced the equivalent of.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm so
no.
embarrassed.
Oh no.
Of, getting eaten out, but you're a gentleman and it's a gay thing. That's
you went to the salad bar.
Tossing
Yeah,
your salad.
Someone was tossing
Right?
my salad. Okay.
Okay.
My peach.
Why
my
did they
peach.
say that? Why is it tossing your salad?
No, just makes me.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a good question.
We need another euphemism.
like eating the
for
peach.
it.
Like.
Oh, yeah.
Like the peach pit.
Call me
like
by your name.
Go into the peach pit.
Go to the
Going to
beach.
visit.
Go into the peach pit.
Going to visit Brenda at the peach pit. I don't know.
That's it.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
it. Talking to Nat at the peach pit.
I hate you so much. Oh my god, no.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Okay.
we have changed we've
Okay.
changed sex in America in this episode. So
Okay, so someone was talking to
was
Nat
going to
at the
talk
peach
and-
pit.
yeah, talking to Nat
Peach pit.
and
Peach pit.
without my knowing, I all of a sudden I felt a rush of like
No.
whew, of like a very cool sensation, minty freshness. And it felt great. And I looked over
I'm
to the
snoring.
bedside table and
No.
there was an open packet
No.
of Listerine mint strips. So he had put the mint strip on the peach and then went to talk to Nat with the mint strip. And I didn't know what was happening, but it was
God.
wonderful. I don't know if that's
Is that
a good
must be a
thing to be
thing, right?
and I didn't know what you know how like there's
I don't
terms
want
like
I
the
don't
dirty
wanna listen.
Sanchez, like
Sure,
the
sure,
rusty
sure,
trombone. Like I was trying to come up with like what's the name of that thing I experienced, like the peppermint patty or the
Yeah, that's perfect. That's it.
Um,
That's it. The peppermint patty.
I don't know. Anyway, so that's why did I just share that?
Well,
You can
because
feel free to
because I'm
cut
making because
this
I'm
part out.
no
because-
we're gonna keep it in, but like because we're inventing new things right now.
Yes.
We're talking about how you deserve commission on my entire career.
Yeah. Now,
So
well,
anyway,
yeah.
okay, so I was in a place. If you read my book, if you haven't read my book, feel free to get my book.
grab it.
Grab it. I am like under 10,000 copies away from breaking even on my advance.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You're
Which
about to
apparently
earn out.
Yes. And then I would start getting royalties. And if you don't know anything about the book world, let me tell you something. I don't think it's a lot. I don't think I'm going to be making a ton of money on this. It's no Untamed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, I didn't write Michelle Obama's book is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice. It's a nice feeling to earn out on a book. It doesn't happen a lot.
That's right. And my book agent was like, this is great. And I said, okay, well, we're not there yet. But this is why I'm saying to you, listener at home, maybe you want to get my book now. So
maybe 10,000 of you want to get it.
Maybe, do we have 10,000 listeners? I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy it for your friends. Anyway, it feels so dated, my book. Do you know what I mean? Like, it already feels like that was like a million fucking years ago.
But to all your book fans who are like, I love your book, it's my favorite. And then you're like, what's your favorite part? And they're like, I don't know. I never read it.
Yeah. Well, that's also, that's also probably accurate. So anyway, I was at like a real crossroads in my career at this moment. The Jenny Mullen web series, meeting Tom, having him pretend to eat a corn on the cob on under my dress moment. And I just kind of like was like, I like didn't care anymore about acting. And I was so sad about it. And like I like wanted to, but at the same time, like it just was just so hard for me. And I didn't want to leave Los Angeles. My kids really needed me here. I couldn't take another job out of the city. And at that time, 5 years ago, everything that I was like being offered was like in Vancouver or Atlanta or Toronto or, you know, like somewhere. And so I kept like turning things down. Even things that I just like wanted to audition for were in different places. I just like couldn't wrap my head around leaving these two little kids to go work, even if I would be coming home on weekends or whatever. I just couldn't anyway. So he was fucking around with like Snapchat because Kelly Oxford had like gotten me into it. She's like, the filters are fun. And the filters were fun, but I also felt super old doing Snap. So Snapchat seemed so weird. And I was like, isn't this just for dick pics? And I was like trying to do, and I was like, and I was also like trying to do it. And then like, but then like, and posting on Instagram. And I was like, this is too much for me. I'm old. I can't do this. So we're in a car filming a scene for the web series. And Tom and I were just like laughing the whole fucking day. And he was like, hey, Instagram launched this thing like yesterday. It's called Instagram Stories. Are you going to do them? I was like, yeah, I saw that. No, I'm not going to fucking do it. I can't even do like Snapchat. And I can't do any of this. Like I'm barely holding my life together. And Tom goes, yeah, but like you already have all these followers on Instagram. Just do Instagram Stories. Like fuck Snapchat. Just like delete that and just like focus on Instagram Stories. It's like basically the same thing, I think. And I was like, well, it's not. It doesn't have the thing with the filters, whatever. And he was like, I don't know, whatever. If I were you, I would just do Instagram Stories. So we did that day in the car. Do you remember? We did like my first Instagram Stories and I posted them. And then that was like August of 2016, right?
Yeah.
And I started doing them in the car with you that day and you were like, just so like, you should just do this. You should do this. You have so many followers. And like, so many followers. I had like 50,000 followers or something on Instagram, but it felt like a lot. And it is a lot. And so that's the origin of me starting to do Instagram Stories is Tom being like, just like, don't do Snapchat, just do Instagram Stories. It just launched. It's brand new. And you had like a vision, Tom, for me.
I'm a little bit psychic, I will say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Of
like
course you are. You are a witch.
I'm a witch of mediocre powers.
You know, it basically like changed my entire life, Tom. It changed my fucking
is that how the
life.
show came about? Because you were basically hosting your
Yes.
own show on your stories.
Yes. And like there was a New York Times article that my now friend Marissa Meltzer, shout out to Marissa, wrote. She has a really interesting new article too, by the way, guys, about like the connection between QAnon and like the spiritual and like yoga world.
Oh,
and like
interesting.
and like health world and stuff.
Okay. Wellness.
Wellness. Thank you. Marissa Meltzer interviewed me for the New Yorker. Like she was like, you are the person, like every new platform that emerges has like the person that sort of like sets what it is and like what it should be used for. And like you did that for Instagram stories, which was
all Tom Lenk's idea.
And it was all Tommy.
Does that mean
Lenk.
Did you two know each other before that then?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was going to see if I could take credit for your friendship as well, but I won't.
No. Actually, Paul F. Tompkins can take credit for our friendship.
I forget that we knew each other through Thrilling Adventure. Oh my gosh, my dog's crazy. So sorry.
That's okay.
We'd done that show together.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow, Tom.
Very unprofessional.
We met before Jenny.
But I didn't get to know you it was like we re-met on Jenny's thing. But I just remember being backstage and we all had the same colorectal doctor in the dressing room at Thrilling Adventure at Largo.
Yeah, Thrilling Adventure Hour. Guys, if you don't know this, I've talked about it a lot. Everybody in Los Angeles has stomach problems. And everyone's got like IBS or everyone's like gluten intolerant. I don't know what it is. This place poisons your gut. It's like we're so fucking healthy here. And yet everyone's like either shitting all the time or can't shit.
There you go.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Also the allergy. Can we talk about the allergy? I don't know I just had a road trip up to San Francisco this past week. Just sort of first tiptoeing into, I mean, I was by myself the whole time, but my allergies went away as soon as I like passed Santa Barbara. So I don't know what it is.
I'm having crazy New York allergies, which I didn't know was a fucking thing. And I was like, well, I really thought that I fucking had escaped at least one thing, but
yeah. No, it's terrible. Tom, you have a viral video right now that's like almost crossing 1 million views, or it probably has already. Am I dying or is it
dying? Am I dying or is it allergies?
Which I've been singing to myself because I have terrible allergies. The other day, my husband counted and I sneezed over 80 times.
Okay, that's insane.
80 times.
We need to get this checked out.
It's wild. Like I couldn't even stop sneezing long enough to take a pill or to like squirt the stuff up my nose. And then I also have like, I've been trying to go out for little power walks in the neighborhood and I just have like the kind of allergies where it just feels like stinging barbs in your skin. Do you have that? So
Mine's an itchy.
No.
I'm just walking around the house like this.
Yeah.
Trying to itch the inside of my throat. It's torture.
Yes. In the roof of my mouth really itches too, which you look like kind of nuts trying to itch the roof of your mouth. Like what?
It's the tongue. You're like,
yeah. Not great.
I love that you called it viral. It's like, to me, I'm like, it's just, I'm barely hanging on the internet and trying to stay relevant.
1 million people watched it.
I know, but hanging on.
But come on, Instagram, why can't I monetize that? That's what I want to know.
I mean, like, you're up there with Lil Nas X.
Well,
guys, wait. By the way, I can't believe we skipped over when we were talking about Listerine strips in your butt. We didn't talk about Lil Nas X's video for Montero. That like I was watching something that Jeremy O'Hara's posted from Fox News of these people like going off about it. It is wild. People are like really shook by him giving
conservative
Satan
people-
a lap dance.
It's like, but why? Okay, the best way to not be offended is like, don't watch it if it's not your jam. It's the same way like straight bros in high school. Like, why do straight people have such good gaydar even before you're out of the closet? And they're just like, they know they have to pick on you because there's something. And it's like the same thing with these straight Republican people. Just like, I know I have to hate that and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like they're just so into, like, why are you so in tune to pop culture that you even know about this person? You know, like why do you even know about it? It's because you're probably closeted. There we go. I don't know.
I mean, I'm such a fan of Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X also one of Cricket's favorites.
There you go. There you
Cricket
go.
loves some Lil Nas X.
I guess I'm like those people who say, they're like, love your show, love it. Can't name an episode. It's my favorite. I didn't watch the whole video. I just watch the clip. I just watched the clips of him sliding down the pole that everyone was posting.
The song is such a banger. Also, as someone who has recently taken to the pole,
Wait, what?
Wait, Tom.
What?
There was like a bit written in to Girls 5 Eva. I decided I didn't want a stunt double. I wanted to like J-Lo it and do it myself. I trained for a week. I fell in love with the pole.
I feel the same way about I was telling CSO. Can I call you CSO?
Yes, you totally can.
Does anyone call you that? I was telling CSO that I had an audition for a man who tosses pizza in Topher Grace's new show. And
he has a new show.
I guess. Who cares? You're probably friends with him. It's fine. He was on your show. I remember I was there for that.
Fair enough.
Okay, but they're like, can you toss pizza? And I'm like, I once lied and said I knew how to ski in order to book a commercial when I was working in Germany doing Griestas musical. And I fully went and took skiing lessons on the highest mountain in Germany, the Zugspitze, from a silver medalist German skier. Learned how to ski in one day. Obviously, I can learn how to toss a pizza for an audition. And so I bought some dough and I learned how to toss a pizza. I did not book it. I didn't get it, but I fell in love with making pizza and I made several deep dish pizzas out of that dough. So, new hobbies can come from a panic research for a new thing.
Yeah.
Or just a new hobby. Have you?
And
yeah.
I've continued my training a bit. I did crack some ribs on the pole.
No.
We're not going to lie.
Yeah.
Now I've gone too far.
That's when you
Now
stop.
I've gone too far.
Yeah.
But I'm writing a movie that I'm tentatively just calling The 40-Year-Old Pole Dancer. and now I have all, like, there are so many people that I'm like literally just like writing parts for. One of them is Nicole Byer because
she's got a love for the pole.
She's got a love for the pole. She's got a pole in her backyard. She posts her pole progress. I love that.
Look, I'm willing, as we've established, I'm willing to learn, and I'm a quick learner. So if you need one sad middle-aged male pole dancer, I'm here.
I think that's amazing, and I love this idea and this pitch, and I'm gonna like see if I can work it into the script. Also, though, I'm like hopeful that Lil Nas X will consider a role in my film.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Now that
he pole danced for Satan. What's the thing? I read the thing that said that Nike's upset that the shoes contain a drop of blood, but then it said that the shoes are a collaboration between Lil Nas X and something else that wasn't Nike. So
Yeah,
are they
it's like they took Nike shoes and they like customized, like another company customized Nike shoes. So they're not by Nike. So Nike's like, this has nothing to do with us. But you know, they're so smart because like they only made 666 pair or something, you know.
That's smart. That's
and
brilliant.
so the, you know, it's just like and like, to truth be told, it's good for Nike. It's good for Lil Nas X. It's good for this company. It's a low money investment for everyone. And everyone's like tearing their hair out, freaking out. And just Lil Nas X is, you know, he's so smart.
He's so smart. Entertainer who's like, oh, I'm going to just specifically troll all of this conservative, horrible, awful people.
Yeah, he made the apology video that like linked to the music video, you know.
But like, what's so wild to me is that these fucking people don't get that they're just being trolled.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird, especially for like a bunch of people who are really good at trolling.
Yeah.
To not recognize it. Sometimes the things that are hardest to see are the things that you most deeply relate to, I think.
Yeah. And then, you know, and then it's interesting to, you know, I just saw it and I was like, what a badass video. And it's so great. And the song's so catchy. And then you read like the note that he wrote to himself.
It's amazing. You know, did you read that, Tom?
Yeah. Montero's his given name. And, you know, he wrote a little note saying like, we never thought that we'd come out, but this is like, you know, Call Me By Your Name is named in the song, and so this might help other queer kids come out. You know, it's really touching. And then you read like people are doing like a real scholarly analysis of like, this is a kid that was brought up like being told he was gonna go to hell because he was gay, and so like he, you know, put on some platform heels and rode a stripper pole down to hell and literally gave the devil a lap dance, then killed him and took all his power away, you know? So I'm like, wow, that's a lot deeper than I analyzed it, but wow, good for him.
It is a queer studies thesis. I'm going to grad school and I'm just going to base it on this. Also, I'm so glad there is now a Call Me By Your Name starring an actual queer person.
Yes.
I just threw shade at the movie. I was talking to a friend last night and I was like, did you ever end up seeing that movie? Because I loved it so much when it came out. And she was like, no. And I was like, you know what? You can't watch it now. It's like going to be ruined because Armie Hammer. Oh yeah. Like you're not going to be able to watch it now. Oh, I took a hard stance. I took a hard stance.
You didn't like it.
No, I didn't watch it. I was like, no, not until there. You know what? If you can't make your movie with an actual queer person because they're not famous enough, then make a smaller movie. Make it I just can't.
But this is the catch-22 of Hollywood, which is like you can't get the parts until you're famous enough, but you can't get famous enough unless you can get the parts.
Right.
And so that has always been why, you know, we have to have more representation all across the board. Like if you were to do a film that's two gay men at the center of the film, you have to have a sizable part for Jennifer Garner. Do you know what I mean? To like get the thing made.
Right.
This is all I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm serious.
Yes.
This is a big Hollywood break right here.
Like this is a total Hollywood break. Like I 100% am with you and like want to obviously give the, you know, LGBTQIA and like trans actors and performers, like they should be the ones getting these parts that, you know, playing these roles. However, the financiers are going to be like, yeah, and how am I going to guarantee that I'm getting my money back?
Like, who's a leading man who's out and gay, who's big enough to carry that Armie Hammer role in Call Me By Your Name, which is an injustice because I believe that Armie Hammer shouldn't have been that big because I believe Armie Hammer was crammed down our throats.
Yeah, like who's over at the big agency deciding like, this unknown person is going to be the lead of this movie.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the whole industry is sort of like run in just,
It's like a weird classism
yeah.
thing.
And
I keep
racist.
thinking about that. Like, oh, I was really sold a bill of goods that said, like, if you keep doing good work and audition, you can make it and book a lead part. And the reality is, no, if you're not at the top 5 places, you'll be at this level. And how do
you're never even going to be considered.
Right.
It's like, as I send my auditions into the black hole abyss during quarantine, I'm like, there's an offer out on all of these parts. So why am I bothered? But an artist just keeps going. But I know what I was going to say, like, there are no gay actors famous enough in the age range of Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci because they didn't
Rupert Everett.
Like,
and
Zach Quino could have played the part in Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name could have been Zach. Zach would have been great, actually.
But we just haven't. Yeah, I don't know. Also, who are those movies being made for? Gay men are not watching the new Stanley Tucci Colin Firth situation. We're not watching that. That's being made for like straight women.
Yeah.
And with
or you watch the Kate Winslet, Saoirse Ronan one. But Kate Winslet's my generation, and here's what I maintain.
Okay.
That if queer had been more in the zeitgeist, I would have identified as queer as a teenager and a young adult and a person. I would have probably come out like I'm a queer person. Does that make sense?
I think about that a lot.
But then would you come out as queer now?
Well, not to be, but like, I'm 41.
Well,
like whatever,
just done.
Like literally, who cares?
As a queer person, and I even have a hard time saying that word because it was, such a.
Do you consider queer or gay? Like, do you consider yourself queer or gay?
I would call myself gay because
and queer or just.
Well, I feel like the queer community is sort of now a larger term for the LGBTQ, right? So I can say I'm a member of the queer community. Am I queer?
Yes.
I mean, yes, I guess, because what was I doing? Wearing women's dresses and putting on makeup, making them out of trash. Like that I would say is queer and drag adjacent. How much of it has to do with the physical sex that you're having, and how much of being queer has more to do with the way you think and approach life? I'm just thinking out loud, so please don't.
I love it. I love
it.
I love a think out loud. But this is even like the non-binary thing that we've had because Birdie is non-binary, they them pronouns, and I've just learned a lot in the last several months.
I think my hat is off for you for saying. At another time, I maybe would have identified it as this, but right now I'm not going to, because sometimes it seems like people come out as I'm queer, and you're like, no, but it seems like you're living your life as just a basically heteronormative, heteronormative.
But also,
and you're trying to tap into our club, and it's like you're trying to tap in without all of the hardship that comes with it. And so I think you're like, yeah, I'm married to a man. I live this type of lifestyle, and it seems very heteronormative, but at the same time I'm like, oh, but you're a theater person, so you're queer.
And I would say that when I was like a teenager and a young adult, I certainly was open to dating people who, just based on who they were, not necessarily their sex. Their sex, not their gender. Did I talk about this last week on the podcast? Birdie corrected the sex ed.
Yeah.
This kid. In sex ed, Birdie's in 6th grade. In sex ed, they were saying gender for male and female instead of sex. And Birdie was like, hey, actually.
Also, oh my God, can you imagine, like, sex ed? I remember 6th grade. Sometimes I think back to, like, what did uncircumcised boys in my 6th grade class think when they saw that book and the penis looked not like theirs? Did they think, like, we were not taught that there was anything other than that. So
right.
I can't even imagine. Like, do they cover? Okay, here's what I want to know: do they cover non-heterosexual sex, or is it no? We just have to cover the stuff that makes babies because we're just showing how human life is created.
No, they do. They do, and they and they cover consent. There's like a lot about consent. I watched one of the consent cartoons with Birdie.
But like in certain states, I'm assuming that it's still like sex ed is still frozen in time.
Oh, for sure. And I actually think, I think that some places still don't even do it. I was
going to say if they even have it.
Yeah, if they even have it.
It's more like
in health. Yeah, in health, they might just like go through, like you said, like reproductive systems. And
like I think it's more like health and hygiene and just how to avoid creating life.
Yeah.
You know?
Avoid creating life. Oh my God.
I know it's fascinating. I mean, it is super fascinating. Yeah, but that's also, I do think, part of the reason why I'm like, in my high school years and whatever, I could have seen myself as like, identifying as that. Now, no, you're right. I'm like, I live a heteronormative life. Plus, I have a kid who's non-binary and gay, and I'm not like gonna hone in on their shit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Let them be their own fucking person, and like I can just be the mom.
Yeah.
This podcast goes deep.
It's deep. We were just talking about eating corn cobs and
Oh my God. You guys, I have a terrible thing to tell you.
What?
Did you stop recording?
This recorder is dead.
Oh my God.
I don't know when. I don't know how. Shit. Well, I'm really sorry about that, Casey. I'll send you whatever the fuck I have.
Yeah.
Fuck. This is a real fucking travesty here.
That's okay. Do you want to record a voice memo on your phone?
Yeah, I'll just do that. Okay.
I lost my GarageBand recording when my computer crashed.
Oh no. Yeah, we're just having
things having
drums. Drama-llama ding dong.
All right. Well, I'm deeply, deeply sorry about this turn of events, but
it's not your fault.
Well, it's not my fault. We don't know. I don't know whose fault it is, but the recorder is dead.
We should get to what we're doing our best at this week.
What are we doing
having
our best
so
at
much
this week?
Fun talking to Tom Lenk about.
I love Tom. I love you so much. You are just one of my favorite people. Tell us about your podcast. Let's plug your pod.
Oh, it's called Undressing Bridgerton with Felicia Day and Tom Lenk, and it's just us talking about Bridgerton. And we're about to finish the 8th and final episode, but we're going to read the book, and we have some special guests that we're going to talk to that I'm very excited about. And then we're going to do maybe we're going to undress other shows while we wait for Bridgerton season 2. Have you watched Bridgerton?
Yes, love Bridgerton.
Oh,
I watched.
That guy is so hot.
Just the horniest show on television. It is so. And the crazy. Some of it is so off the wall. Just. I don't want to spoil things, but I love what the plot becomes, which is
I only watched part of the first episode, and that because I wanted to watch a show with Birdie. I wanted to like have a show to watch with Bird.
How old is Birdie?
Birdie is 12.
Okay,
years
I feel
old.
like that might be too young.
It was
for the
it was a
action
lot
that are happening.
It was a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And almost immediately, Birdie was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not doing this."
Okay.
And I said, "You're so smart. I adore you. Let's shut this off and let's watch House Hunters."
Oh, okay. That was a solid choice.
So we did that, but then I wanted to return to it, and then I never did.
It's really just fun. This pandemic is a time to watch really stupid, frothy things of no consequence, but I liked it. I just thought it was like I know Bridgerton was like before Gossip Girl, like the books were written before Gossip Girl.
Oh, they were? I didn't know that.
I think so.
That's good to know, because I did think that device. I was like, we've seen this, guys. We know it's Gossip Girl.
So
spoiler, it's Dan. No, I don't know. Was it Dan? Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Dan was Gossip Girl.
Oh,
Spoiler.
I didn't know that. I never watched.
Yeah. So yes, Bridgerton has like a Gossip Girl type vibe, and people were pointing that out. But I believe the Bridgerton book was written before Gossip Girl.
Listen,
So
all this information is Googleable.
yes,
Okay,
it's
wait.
true.
So podcast, I think you're doing your best at that. But what else are you doing your best at?
I don't know. I was thinking about this before we started recording, and I couldn't. I'm doing my best at remaining artistic and creative. As I said before, I got bored making the garbage dresses, and I've been channeling my creative energy in other ways, just making silly song videos and the allergy thing. Anyway, I think I'm doing my best at staying creative and keeping people laughing during this long and arduous time known as quarantine. And now as we're sort of emerging, I guess that's what I've been doing okay at.
Mm-hmm.
You're really good. Can I just say something? And this is no shade to anyone. Funny songs, I'm really picky about.
Can I be honest? Because there are so many bad ones.
There's so many bad ones, and it's like no shade to anyone. Like I appreciate the effort that anyone makes, like putting a funny song out there, and especially when you like put some production into it, making a video, whatever. And I appreciate all those things. Like I have a little history writing funny songs myself. I was a writer at the Rosie O'Donnell show for all of the seasons, so I know a little bit about writing a funny song. And like there are just certain things that make certain songs funnier than others. And Tom Lenk, you're very good at writing a genuinely funny song.
Well, thank you.
I agree.
And here's what I will say though, is that what I discovered was that because I just was pressing the drum machine on GarageBand and then just hitting record and just freestyling it. And no thought is really going into it. And so then I add the other voices and music and background after I've just recorded a thing of me singing at the camera. And I think I guess maybe that comes through is that I'm not trying so hard. Because I think it's when people are trying hard and like really trying to make a brilliant rhyme. And it's like, no, keep it low stakes. And I've discovered the ones where I have put more effort into it are less funny. So
Can I tell you something? But this is like knowing your medium is also, this is like where that comes into play. Because like, I think that something, like if you're writing a song on SNL, it needs to be fucking polished.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, 100%.
And like needs to be perfect. If you're doing like a funny song that you're just like putting together to keep us laughing and during the COVID times.
So I've learned that like what my medium is, like you're saying, is for whatever reason, I can just make a stupid song. And some of them were actually cameos that I decided I would try to do musical cameo, those video shout outs. And some of them were just ones that I was doing for specific people. And then these tangents came out of it. And I was like, hey, here's your cameo, but also can I post part of it to the internet? So I don't know. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, they're really funny.
I just talked a lot. Casey, what are you doing your best at this week?
I'm not doing the best this week. I just feel like I gave up. I'm in a pajama top I'm doing this podcast in a pajama top because I don't have any tops clean because I won't do the laundry. I won't do it. I won't do the laundry. I won't do the dishes.
The dishes. Can't do the dishes.
I can't change the toilet paper one more time. I'm using like one square of toilet paper. Like when I worked in the nursing home, because Tom, I worked in a nursing home to put myself through college.
Amazing.
The people in the nursing home would always just try to use one square of toilet paper because they lived through the Great Depression. And I would be like, we have abundant toilet paper. You can use all the toilet paper in the world. Please use more than one square. But now I'm using only one square of toilet paper because I don't want to reach the end of the roll because I just don't want to change the toilet paper roll because it's been so many rolls. It's been so many rolls.
Why I'm alone here, and why will I not put a roll onto the roll thingy? Like I've got an empty cardboard core, and then I keep putting the thing on top of it and not putting it on.
And I'm like pulling off one little shred of toilet paper and just like, can I wipe myself with this shred and not change the roll?
Oh God, that last,
I don't know.
shred that stuck to the cardboard.
I
I'm
love
just like,
that. I
can
love
I?
that piece. That's
like-
my favorite piece.
That's like the,
That is my favorite piece. I'm not even kidding.
do you also
Can I
do you
wipe
eat the
myself
end of
with
the
this?
do you eat the bread nubbin at the end of the loaf as well?
I love
Yeah,
a bread
yeah.
nubbin.
Oh, I hate a bread
And
nubbin.
I love it.
I just can't. And I'm just like, what? I can't change the roll one more time. I'm like begging, like, can we just I know it's not good for the environment, but can we just have like paper plates this week just so we can not do the dishes this week? And I was
Guys,
saying that.
I'm going to say this. Get a fucking bidet.
Oh yeah, get a
and
tushy.
Then,
Sponsored.
and then they used to advertise on our podcast.
It's true. It's true.
But also get one that
also-
shoots the nice warm water. I've tried one of those out. I installed my friend Zach
good.
Plotnick's bidet, and because he was like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, I'll do it. And the warm water is so lovely. It's so lovely.
really good.
Can I tell you something? Do you want to know? Like, moving to New York has been hard for a lot of reasons, Tom. But this is not a joke. One of the biggest ones is that my fancy Japanese toilet that was a gift to me from Mark many years ago for Christmas remained in our home in Los Angeles, and now new people are utilizing it.
Washing their
and-
asses.
And vaginas. Wash it all.
Oh, it washes everything?
Yeah.
Front or back.
Also-
and let me tell you something. You don't know about this, but when you get your period, you know what's real fucking nice? Some warm water on your
Some
cooch.
warm water up
Oh
there.
my God.
Yeah.
And it had a heated seat, right?
A heated seat.
heated seat.
Warm water. A dryer.
Yeah.
And
And
this
like
is
a smell diffuser. Speaking of the Listerines.
better,
Ooh.
literally better for the environment than anything else. We should all be using bidets. Then you really can just use one square because you're like clean and you just like pat dry. You're good to go.
Can I tell you something? Oh, busy, not to make you feel bad, but when we redid the bathroom, we bought a toilet like that. We used our credit card points and we bought the fancy toilet like that. But between you and me, that toilet is kind of a fucking try hard because it also just opens up for you when you walk by it and it pre-sprays itself. To like, so that it's always so clean and like ready to go for you. And like, there's sometimes I just walk by the toilet and I'm not going to go. And I'm like, calm down, toilet.
Do you feel bad? You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm not ready.
like,
I'm not ready.
I'm just walking by. I'm just like putting a towel on the shower door. Like,
Wait.
settle down.
And the toilet's like,
You-
feed me, Seymour.
Yeah.
Wait. You know my adorable nephew, baby Bob.
Yes.
My sister's kid, Bob, is
Yes.
so cute. Bob is terrified of the toilet because my toilet did that too. And when he would come to our old house in LA, he would be like, Aunt Busy, the Hello Potty on? Is the Hello Potty on? And he called it the Hello Potty. And he would like not go into our bathroom for fear of the Hello Potty opening. And I
Yeah.
don't know what, like eating him? Like I think he
No,
thought it was
that's
like
a
a
real
fucking
fear.
monster.
That is a real
Well,
Yes.
I'm avoiding my bathroom too because I'm like, that's another reason I won't go in there and change the toilet paper because
I
that
think-
fucking toilet's gonna open up and be like, I'm ready for you.
Do you know the
I think that there must be a way to deprogram that, babe.
by the way, I read an article about the reasons why we don't have bidets, and I'm probably getting it wrong, but it had something
Big toilet paper?
with toilet paper. But it was after World War II. The soldiers came home, and there was a company that was then at that time trying to promote new toilet sales and bidets as a way of life, because it was so common in Europe. But because the soldiers associated bidets with the lady prostitutes that they were having sex with, and they didn't fully understand what they were for, that bidets that got a bad name because of the because things weren't sex positive back then, because these dumb straight men didn't know what it was all about. And that's why we don't have bidets. I'm probably paraphrasing and saying it wrong, but it's something like that.
Ruin everything. What are you doing your best at this week, Biz?
Well, clearly not electronics. I'm so sorry. I deeply apologize.
Don't worry about it. This is a free podcast for everyone's entertainment.
That's right. It is a free podcast today. What am I doing my best at? I am doing my best at I'm still doing I think I really am still doing a good job at parenting. You know how I've been working on that?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm still doing that. I'm still doing a good job at that. And I feel like I'm doing a good job at figuring things out. Is that good?
Yeah, it seems like more to come, maybe, or maybe not.
We'll see.
It seems like maybe you're keeping some things close to the vest, which is something that we talk a little bit about with our guest today, Tess Holliday.
Correct.
About keeping some things private, keeping some things to yourself until you're ready, or maybe forever, if that's how you feel.
I read once, you shouldn't write about something unless you've processed it. I do think that that's kind of it's a good, it's kind of a good thing for social media. I think people should try to process their shit before they share it. And we talk about that with Tess Holliday. I love Tess Holliday. She's a trailblazer. She's a fucking badass. She's had a wild few years. And I look forward to seeing what is next in store for her. But in the meantime, listen to this adorable interview we did with her.
Tess, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in so long. I actually do weirdly feel like I'm going to cry.
I was thinking about your mom earlier. It's just literally I was thinking about how much I miss going to events. And then I remembered the event that I really, I was not going to go to the after party. And if I wouldn't have seen your mom hanging under a tree and talk to her. And then she's like, oh, that's my daughter. And it was you.
But also, you were just you've been such a source of inspiration to my sister. We are just my whole family is, before we were friends, we were fans.
Well, Tess, when you were a guest on Busy Tonight, you made me cry because when you were sitting on the sofa talking to Busy, you were talking about how it was hard for you to get booked as a guest on other late night shows. And I've been working in late night my whole career, and I love late night television. But one of the things that I've always felt is that late night isn't really made for me. And one of the things that I loved about Busy Tonight is that we were making a show for us, and finally we could have the people that we wanted to have on. And I felt like that was you, you're a guest for me. And so it made me so happy to see you there. And so I cried my eyes out.
Busy's show is still the only late night show I've ever done. So, maybe that's how I want to keep it. I don't know. It was a good day.
It was a good day.
Even on when you have these covers of magazines that are, huge deals, you see other models on shows, right?
Yes.
And
I think do you know what it is, Busy? For me personally, I think it's because I am an advocate and I am very vocal. So I think I just kind of scare people away with the people look at me and they see that I'm fat and the tattoos and that I'm outspoken. But it's funny because you can look at all of my interviews and even my podcast now, that doesn't equal unhinged. That just means I give a shit about people and I'm hot with my tattoos. I don't see the problem, but yeah.
No. I obviously don't see the problem either, but I do think that there is a bit of catching up still that we're waiting for mainstream media to do. But thank God we have things like podcasts and, social media presences that we can turn directly to fans. And I was actually listening today to Slumber Party with Tess Holliday, which is your new pod. And I listened to the Ricky Lake episode, which huge fan of Ricky Lake.
Yeah.
I feel like the three of us are all really weirdly similar in so many ways.
You are. You literally have your dress on is exactly what Ricky wears and I wear. And it's a similar aesthetic, but also like you guys are both just genuinely nice people that give a shit. Like my friends always want to know like who's your friend that's a celebrity that's like, you know, they'll always want to know the tea. And everyone always asks about you and Ricky. And I'm always like, I'm like, Busy's the nicest person in there. And then, you know, it's funny. Everyone's like, I can tell that she is. I know she is. And I'm like, what you see is what you get. But that's how all of my friends are. Like, you know, nobody has time for friends that aren't nice in 2021.
No, for sure, not now. But for me, kind of not ever. Although, I don't know. We all go through our
friends.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We all go through our phases, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we love to talk about pivots, and you are a person that I love how everything in your life has like really, I mean, hinged on a lot of different sort of pivots, right?
Yeah.
So, like, first of all, let's talk about initial pivots, like how you came to be in the public eye to begin with and such a trailblazer in the industry. You went to an agency when you were pretty young to seek representation as a plus size model. And what were you told?
Basically, LOL. And they just said it will never happen. And the most that you can hope for is to do print modeling. And I didn't know what that meant, but it essentially means catalogs, like, you know. So I took that, but I also thought, no, that's not what's going to happen. And I joke about being delusional, that the delusion has carried me this far. But truly, I could really say that it was my calling and I felt like I was meant to do something bigger. But honestly, I just think that it was pure delusion that carried me as far as it did.
But like, but I do have a question.
Delusion
Like,
or belief in yourself?
belief in yourself.
Both, maybe. I don't know. But I had no reason to believe in myself. I was like 5'3", no style, no fashion sense, but also because, you know, as Busy understands with her sister being plus size, and like me and her sister have talked about this, plus size women couldn't create our own identity until a few years ago because of the access to fashion.
Like, Tess, I am like not plus sized.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I would say that in the early days of my career, I was consistently shamed and told that like there was nothing for me to wear to events. Like, and I was like, I'm a size 8. You know what I mean? Like
In the 1990s, even like as a teenager over like size 12, you couldn't get like gunny sacks or even like Betsy Johnson, what everybody was wearing. Like it just, if you needed like an XL, you probably were out of luck, you know?
For sure.
Like, yeah. So I feel you.
Yeah.
I know. And it is like so heartening to me, the change that's happened in the last few years, certainly like 5, maybe a little bit longer, in terms of designers and fashion brands realizing like, oh, what we're doing is not only out of touch, it's actually discriminatory and fucking weird. And we need to like change our business. You know, some people like Christian Siriano, I think of in terms of like a person who always was like, yeah, of course I'm making size inclusive clothing for everyone. Whoever wants to wear my clothes can wear my clothes, no matter what their size or shape or whatever. But like, when did you first start to see the change?
I mean, definitely within the last 5 years, especially the last 2 or 3 years, I went from not having much access to, you know, mainstream designers carrying plus size. Like you said, Christian, you know, has consistently been the only designer until a few years ago that was high end, that was catering to plus size women. But now, you know, I have much more access to it. I'm literally, I'm going through and purging my closets as we speak today. But, you know, there's still so much work that needs to be done. I still couldn't call most folks up and get something custom. And I think that's just because I'm not like famous enough, but it is.
You will be after today, Tess.
I will. But what, look at Busy's face.
I'm just like, Casey, because I know how many people listen to this podcast. You know what I mean?
Busy's face was
I'm just
so
like,
good. Casey's,
it's not good. This podcast isn't going to do it. I'm so sorry, Tess.
Casey's so proud of herself. But it's so nice, it's so nice to see, Lizzo on the carpet wearing Versace and like big fashion houses that you never would have seen, a couple years ago. So yeah, I mean, there's still a lot that needs to be done, but the fact that Donatella Versace is dressing someone that's visibly fat, it means that there is change.
Okay, so I need to go back to the pivot because I realized I glossed over it.
It's okay.
So you're
you and I have ADHD.
We really do. We really do.
Yeah.
So diagnosed, guys. So you're told no. And you're like, you have this idea, I believe like a self-confidence calling. You're like, I want to be a model. Mm-hmm. Look at this face. Look at this body. Who doesn't want to see me walking in clothes? So where do you go from there when like you're turned down by the agency that exists in your small town?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we were in Georgia. So drove back to Mississippi, decided maybe it wasn't for me. I started doing makeup. So my very first makeup job was when I was 11 years old. No, right. I did my cousin Melissa's makeup for her wedding. I kid you not. And I did like frost eyeshadow. It was a thing. Honestly, I found pictures the other day and like I killed Melissa's wedding. She looked great.
She looked great.
So I'm always like, I've been a makeup artist for 20 years. Because I did get paid. I think she gave me like $20 or something. But I started doing makeup professionally, in my late teens into, my mid 20s when I started modeling. And I mean, I did a bunch of other things, but I really thought makeup was my calling. So when I moved to LA, when I was 24, I really thought that I was moving to LA to become a makeup artist. And I was dating this guy at the time. I had my older son. He was a few years old. And I thought, okay, I'm going to be a makeup artist. And within a few months of moving to LA, a casting director had found some photos of me online and reached out to me. And I believe in the universe and divine timing. And that was my first job. And ironically enough, not ironically, because again, universe, that same building, which is the CNN building in LA, is literally across the street from where I film my podcast now. So I always look out the window and think like, it's just life is funny. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Full
I
circle.
love those moments. I love those moments where you're like, your timelines are like, you can see your previous self walking in the doors of the building across the street. And you're like, and here I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Interviewing, like, I hope one day you.
Yes.
And I think to myself, like, I can't believe that this gets to be my life. It's just fucking wild. Listening. It's just, life is crazy.
I mean, agree. But so like, you loved doing makeup. You loved doing your own makeup. And I feel like you obviously have had a lot of confidence in yourself and your ability in that respect. And I think that it's something that's super relatable because I feel this from you. And I know it was true of me, which was that like, I was like sort of outwardly presenting the most confident in one avenue of my life. And then in another avenue of my life, I was just like, I didn't have it together at all. Mm-hmm. Like it was a mess. You know what I mean? And I sort of like put all my focus on the work thing because I was like, well, this I know I can kill. And like this, I know I'm like, I got it, Like, has that been, because I know you've just had so many personal transitions recently in the last few years too, like, has that been a thing where you finally are like, oh, wait, that confidence that I have over here, I can also bring to my personal life over here?
Yes, that was very well said. That has been the biggest pivot of my entire life. It's been the past year and a half where, I built this incredible career and I did all of these things that felt like really wild dreams to me, and
It was
accomplishing.
groundbreaking.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, listen, when you're one of the first folks that are busting through that door and changing things, you I mean, you don't know because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. It's just like happening and you're going with it. But you soon realize just from watching other folks in history that have pushed things forward, that it's always tougher and it's harder and people don't get you and you're misunderstood. And so you kind of exist in this space for a long time where, you're doing the right thing and no one else does. And so I reached this really interesting point where I started seeing part of the work that I was doing collectively come back. And I started really feeling and finding my purpose through my work and being happy again. And my personal life was just a mess because as I've shared online and my friends know that, I was in an abusive relationship for 7 years, and it affected everything I did. But for a long time, I was able to separate, the work and the personal. And then it all started to bleed together. And like you said, like the love that I was showing everyone around me, especially through my work, because my work is a labor of love and I do it because I know that's my calling and my purpose. But inside I was drowning and I was just putting up this facade because I didn't really realize what was happening. So being able to leave, the past year and a half, I am happier and calmer and more grounded. Not a day goes by where I don't feel just incredibly grateful to still have my career and to be able to finally enjoy this life that I've created that for so long felt really out of reach for me.
Yeah. And I think, Tess, like one thing that I feel like is so important, and I was just so incredibly moved by how you've shared what you've been going through and what you've gone through online, is just that, we all know like outward appearances can be deceiving. And I think that most women, I know myself included, would look at you and think like, oh, Tess, she's such a fucking badass. Like no one would ever get away with treating her less than.
Yeah.
And so for you to be able to share is so, I mean, you have to know. I'm sure you've heard, I'm sure people have reached out. Like, I know how many people it will help to see, because people, that's the whole thing, right? Like everybody gets like into this shame spiral and then they're stuck.
Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that. And that's part, I knew when I left, I kept it, a secret online for, a year and a half. I kind of just made it look like, oh yeah, now all of a sudden I'm living with my best friend and my kids are split up temporarily because my older son went to live with his father, which was his choice. I was just keeping all of these moving parts and not sure what I was doing, but I knew that at some point when it was right, I wanted to talk about it because you're right. I am a badass, but a lot of people would look at me and think exactly what you said, myself included. And that's why I knew I had to say something, because I didn't even realize that my relationship was abusive until, about 2 years in. And then when I realized it was abusive, it got worse, as it usually does over time. It gets worse. And what happens is you get comfortable, not in the abuse, but just you get comfortable in the chaos, and you start making excuses for your abuser. You start feeling guilty. And it was actually my therapist that told me, he asked me, what's keeping you in your relationship? And I said, guilt. And once I was able to break through the guilt, the extreme guilt, because I felt like it was my purpose as this person's partner to help them through everything, that, you know, they had this, they were dealing with this issue. And when you realize that, like, I can't fix these things, I can't do all of this, it's something that person has to do. And freeing myself from that was really empowering. And I hope that's what people take out of it, is that, you know, your partners are supposed to, you know, provide support and stability and love, but, you know, you can't fix someone that isn't able to help themselves, you know?
You can't fix anyone else.
Period. Yeah.
Period. Like full
Yes.
stop. But
Yes.
I think that one thing that you just said that I just want to like call attention to, because I think it's super important, is that you didn't speak about anything that you were going through until you felt ready. And I think that so frequently on social media, it doesn't matter if you have, you know, 3 million followers or like 30. I think people feel this pressure and this need to speak immediately, like as soon as something's happening. And I think it takes somebody who's in therapy, clearly you are, to like have the understanding that like until you fully know what's going on and can sort of process it yourself, like you don't have to share it with anyone publicly or even private. Like, dude, even privately, like you could just be figuring some shit out on your own for a couple years and like then be ready to let family in, be ready to let close friends in. That is perfectly okay. Yeah. But we all have been sort of tricked a little bit with the Facebook generation of like, we got to give this like status update immediately. Yes. And it's like, guys, put the fucking brakes on the status update.
It's like we're all in the public eye. You know what I mean? Like you two are both in the public eye. You're public figures. But I think we've all been sort of fooled into feeling like we're public figures. I see it with friends who are just like regular, like school teachers, and things happen in their lives and they almost feel like they have to issue a statement, almost like, you know, like a publicist has helped them write a statement about something that's happened in their lives. And, you know, and sometimes I feel myself like when something happens, I'm like, well, I better say something because people will be wondering what's going on. And then I'm like, oh, well, I am also wondering what's going on in my life. And we can all just continue to wonder.
But also, I mean, it's interesting, but also it's like, I don't know, the thing that I hope you like came to, Tess, because I feel like I have too, is like in the same way you're not responsible for your partner, you're not responsible for everyone in the world. And so like if sharing your story was going to be something that would cause you more trauma or more pain or would feel bad to you, even if it's like, oh, it is going to help all of these other people, but if it would cause so much or you know, pain for you, like, so don't share it.
Yeah, you know, it's, you both are correct. I felt this overwhelming sense of, again, guilt, but guilt in a different way, where, you know, I've created my entire, you know, I hate, you know, platform, whatever, on authenticity and being honest and truthful and transparent. And so when I left and yes, that's why I love you. And so when I left, I mean, I didn't share it because it wasn't for a lot of reasons, but I had written out things so many times and I was like, I'm going to share it. And I just felt it in my heart. And when I decided to share it, it was really on a day where I just woke up and my heart felt like everything inside of me said, you need to. And I messaged my manager, who had been telling me, don't do it, don't talk about it. But it's like, she knew I wasn't ready and it wasn't the right time. And when I felt called, I did. And I, you know, with the exception of a handful of miserable people online, everyone was incredibly supportive and still is. And it feels like I can actually start living my life. I was keeping this like awful secret for so long. I had followers messaging me on Instagram saying, I remember meeting you at Disneyland, because anyone that knows me knows before the pandemic, I was always at Disneyland.
Yes.
And,
We still have to go together. I'm still I'm holding out hope for this trip.
We are it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I had people like messaging me saying, you know, hey, I saw you at Disneyland and I saw this and this happen between you and your partner. And like, I want to tell you, I believe you. And, you know, and then you realize, wow, I wasn't hiding it. So I felt like I could finally start living my life, and being able to do that in a global pandemic has been where the world is actually slowed down, has been really, really, really needed and wonderful.
I'm so happy to see you happy. That must have been really hard. And it's just nice to see you happy.
I'm so happy. Thanks.
Okay. So currently I feel like here's what I'm waiting for with you. And I want to know how close I am or how far I am. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the skincare line.
Oh, yes. You know, I'm definitely manifesting that. And I also want to do my own skincare line. I want to do my own hair care, like hairline, because I have the best hair. And I also really
have the best hair.
You do. It's true.
But like, wait, can I ask you a question? Do you feel like for me, I would put anything on my skin you told me to. You have the most beautiful skin of all time.
Thank you.
And your hair is also exceptionally gorgeous. And I've seen it in person, guys. And it's not like extensions clipped in. This is
real.
This woman's real, beautiful hair. But like with hair, I'm like, don't you want just one of those big campaigns?
I do. I've been waiting, but again, brands just, I don't know how to say this other than to just say it, busy. Brands are afraid of me. My manager always jokes and she's like, you just need to get in the room, because once you get in the room and people see your personality, it's different. But I'm like, God, do I just come off as this like horrible, scary bitch online? But yeah, I would love to do a big hair campaign with like a major brand, just because of the visibility and representation. Like, you know, to have a fat girl doing a Pantene ad, like
that's it.
That means so much. Like, so of course, yes, manifesting that, absolutely. But
I wanted to just talk about the vision board for Tess for this next like 2 years, because I do think that you being the face of a major company's hair care line is like, I'm happy for you to be an entrepreneur and start your own, but I also like for representation for all the ladies out there to like see themselves represented. I would love for you to be on huge, you know, billboards in Times Square as the face of Pantene.
It's also, I want to say something, Tess. You've had a lot of success in alternative spaces. But then I look at your Instagram and I look at your Facebook following and I look at your Twitter following and I look at the numbers of your success. And those aren't alternative successes. Those are full, flat out mainstream fucking successes. So I don't understand why a company wouldn't just be like, yeah, you're our fucking hair spokesmodel. Yes, there we go. Like, you are a mainstream model. You look like me. If you modeled for a shampoo company, I would buy that shampoo because you represent what most of American women, A, look like, and B, aspire to look like you know what I mean? Like, you're the body shape of what most American women look like, and you're what most American women aspire to, like, fix ourselves up cute to look like. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are hyping me up. I love this. This is, I feel like you guys are all actually hugging me. You know, it feels really simple, you know, when you say it, and I appreciate, like, just hearing you say that makes me so happy, because that's why, you know, I do what I do. It's just, you know, these brands, they say they want to be diverse, but then it's just, it's not always the case. So you guys can speak it into existence for me.
Like, I just, for whatever reason, we got to make this vision board. I'm feeling Pantene, like truly Pantene, Pro V, Tess Holliday for Pantene. This is what I'm feeling. Look at that hair. You're so gorgeous. Do you have a branding agent, or is it just like your manager and your modeling?
No, I can connect you with my people.
for me to pitch you to Pantene. I'm ready. I've got it. I'm here to hype you. I think that, like, here's what we all should do. Like, and it doesn't happen all at once. Tess, you're still relatively young.
Listen, Busy. Yes, I know I'm relatively young, but I'm turning 36 in July.
Sure.
And I am really, really, really struggling with the age thing and like our industry. Because I'm like, obviously, I'm not just a model. I consider myself like an advocate. I'm doing a ton of things. Like, you know, I'm working on a ton of things that are making me super happy. But I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm getting old and then no one will care and blah, blah, blah.
I was literally 39 years old when I was offered my Olay campaign. And that was like, I'm so sorry. I'm getting a skin campaign offered to, like, at age 39. What?
Yeah.
Like, I would have, like, I don't even know what I would have done at age 21. Like, when I wanted all that shit and I didn't understand. And like, and now I kind of do now because I'm supposed to be here. And I thought, because also, like, we can't buy into the ageism bullshit in the same way we can't continue to buy into the body bullshit because it's all coming from the same patriarchal fucking place.
You know what? I know that, but wow. You know, I think I just need to hear it from you. So you're right. I need to be less hard on myself. And the thing I wanted to ask you, speaking of like different points in your career, and I know that this wasn't a highlight in your career, I'm speaking for you, but New Girl is my favorite show of all time. And every time I watch New Girl and see you pop up, I always get so excited. Your scene where you're like the mean bar person.
I loved it. Well, I've been friends with Liz Merriweather for so long, and I always wanted to do something on the show, but I was basically like on Cougar Town the whole time that show was on. So then I think when Cougar Town was over, she was like, please, I want you to do this episode and be really mean to Nick.
It was
and I was
so
like,
good.
It's my dream. I love it. It was super fun. Yeah.
It was so fun. But no, anyways, that's where I was going with that. If that would have happened to me in my career, I'd have been like, well, this is just another moment. But it's like we have these little moments in our. Don't you like how I'm making it a bigger deal for you than it was?
Well, it's interesting because that's probably a thing that Busy forgot all about, and here it is, like one of your favorite things. You know what I mean? So you probably have a million things that you forgot all about that people are like, remember when Tess Holliday did this thing? That was like the hugest deal for me, and
probably.
You know, people. I mean, like I'm like a writer, and people are like, oh my god, remember when you wrote that thing? And I'm like, no, I do not. And then I'm like, yeah, I guess I did that. That was kind of cool.
I do remember New Girl because it was so fun. And also I too love that show. And I love, like, it's one of my comfort shows.
Same.
Yeah.
So I love watching it at night if I'm stressed or whatever. Like, I will zone out on a New Girl, like 3 episodes of a New Girl.
Yes.
Oof.
Absolutely.
You know who else loved New Girl?
Who?
Prince.
Right, of course.
No, because Prince did the iconic episode where there's butterflies flying while he's like getting ready.
Can you imagine, like, Prince calls your show and he's like, your show is my favorite show. Can I be on it?
No,
I can't. I also can't.
Not to make it about Prince, but you know, I always like to make it about Prince.
But Tess, in your podcast, Slumber Party with Tess Holliday, subscribe, download, like for more. Anyway, in the Ricky Lake app, you were saying how since you've like stepped into this new place of like, you know, being good, loving yourself and like and being good to yourself and listening to what it is that you need, that you've been seeing like angel numbers a lot, which is like 1111 or 222 or whatever. You're still seeing them
every single day? I literally
every day.
every day one appears to me. But I screenshot them every day, and it's funny because my background of my phone is Michael Scott screaming. But so I screenshot one the other that was 12. It was 12/22, and it was on March 22nd. So little things like that where you look down and you're like, wow. But it really makes me feel comforted, and also I feel like now all I do is talk about the universe and manifestation and all of that. But it's truly because if people really knew what, what my life was really like and the shit I went through, just knowing that, like you said, I'm here for a reason. All of this has happened the way it was supposed to. It just brings me comfort and makes me feel like I'm on the right path, like I did the right thing and that I'm not alone, so.
And you're not.
Yeah.
That's my thing with the pennies, which people are like, okay, busy. You see, and people, and I fucking hate it when people are like, you see the pennies because you want to see the pennies. And I was like, yeah,
that's not
no shit. Yeah, but also like, by the way, no shit. I'm manifesting the fucking pennies when I need to see the pennies.
Yeah.
Like they're showing up because I'm like, hey guys, I need to see a penny. Can somebody help me out here?
100%. But also like anyone that gives you a hard time for something that makes you happy, I just like can't imagine being that person, because I just want to see everybody happy. And if like I'm like, oh, that's not a thing, like you just don't say it out loud. You just let somebody like let it bring them joy or happiness. We all fucking need it right now.
Literally, what do you care? That's what I'm always like, what do you care that I read my horoscope? Like, let me just think about how and meditate on how I'm gonna, have a good day.
But Casey, you're hurting them by reading your horoscope. You're hurting others, Casey.
Somebody who recently had a huge thing happen in their life, really told me this kind of big, long story about how everything was connected. And they said to me, like, everything's connected and you're here to make me realize that everything's connected and you're connected to this situation. And they were like so emphatic about it that they really made me believe it. And then ever since then, I'm like, everything is connected. And
everything is connected.
Well, everything is connected, but go ahead.
And then I'm like, holy shit, everything is connected. Like I see connections between things all the time. And I'm like, this song is connected to this thing in my life. And then I'll like look up the Wikipedia article and like, it turns out that the person wrote it when they were like driving through the town I was born in. And I'm like, everything's connected.
But everything is connected, but also you have to be like in tune to things being connected and notice that in order to like, that has to be on your wavelength. And not everyone is able to be open to see those things. Some people never will be. But it is really special when you're able to make those connections and see those things.
And I feel like for me, just talking to you right now, and I'm so glad we had this chance to have you on the podcast. I just love you so much. I really think that these next 2 years for you, and maybe beyond too, but like I'm just seeing these next 2 years for you, it's going to be like off the charts, Tess. Like the world is open for you, and like you're now open for the world, and as soon as we all get vaccinated, the world will be open. So.
I hope so. And I want to tell you, when you text me yesterday, I had just driven past the place you used to work out, and it was the first time I had ever seen it. Like I was driving through LA and I saw the building and I look up and I was like, it was like the LEK place or whatever. And I was like, wait, that's where Busy goes. And you had messaged me, and again, universe. And then I thought about how I'm on my 3rd month doing Pilates 3 days a week, and it's like changed my life. Like I'm a completely different person, like inside and out. I feel so connected. And I was like, now I get when Busy would post these like sweaty, drippy Insta stories doing it. Because I'm like, who wants to work out at 5:30 in the morning? But now that I'm that sweaty, drippy person 3 days a week, I get it. It's just, So
it changes everything.
It does.
Your body being connected to your mind, being connected to your heart. Like it's all fucking connected, guys. And it's not like, I always would get annoyed if anybody would, well, whatever. I actually don't care. But occasionally people would say things to my Instagram or whatever, like nobody wants to see you like trying to get a hot bod. I'm like, guys, this isn't about like trying to do something that like you don't even know what I think a hot bod is. A, B.
Yeah.
Like this is really about my like mind body spiritual connection. And I get the best. Ask Casey. I get real fucking good ideas when I'm on that tramp.
You do.
Yes.
I do. I'll call Casey after a workout. I was like, I was just jumping and I had the best idea.
Yeah.
And I love that you're loving Pilates.
I do hot Pilates, and
it's amazing.
It's honestly, it's funny. The girl that is my instructor has done my facials at Joanna Vargas for the past 2 years, and literally never mentioned Pilates. And we're like friends. We know what's going on in each other's lives.
Yeah.
And then I called her crying 3 months ago. Again, universe. And I had been working out with my trainer, and I was just feeling a little lost. And she goes, do you want to try Pilates? And she had never mentioned it before. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I can do it. And I went back 3 more times that week. And now it's my, I schedule it into my time. So, like you said, things happen when they're supposed to. And I'm going to remember that when I give myself a hard time for feeling like I'm too old for brands to hire a care about.
Right?
So,
Oh my
amazing.
gosh. That's amazing. And also, like, it's so good for people to hear too, because I do think, especially right now, a lot of people have been like feeling adrift or unmoored or lost or whatever. And like, to just remember that, like, you have to leave yourself open. You have to be good to yourself. You have to get out of toxic situations.
Well, I love you. I love you both so much. I
love you too.
I didn't know I needed this, but here we are.
I'm so glad. The only thing I have just like one tiny thing I want to say to you, and you may already be doing it, but I want to just say one thing.
Okay.
In your like forward thinking about your goals and stuff, I want you to like just have as much specificity as possible.
What do you mean?
Like be as specific as you can be in thinking about what you want next.
Thank you. It's not funny that you're mentioning this. I should just stop saying this. Let me move my glasses and my weed pen off of my journal really quick. But this is my like thing. I wrote this. I put this by my book to basically like manifest things. And the last time I wrote in it was February 25th, the first and only. So I need to like start.
This is it. You need to, I want you to like right now, will you just write down Pantene hair campaign 2020/21. No, wait, 21. Wait, 21. What you guys, what fucking year is it?
Don't get it in 2020. That won't do
22.
Like
21/22. You guys, I can't. I like just, we've all lost a fucking year. I don't know. It's 21. It's 21. Got it.
I'm doing it
now. Yeah. That's why we all need to do nice things for ourselves. We lost a year.
And then I want you to create your own face oil.
I am going to create my own skincare line. I'm working towards something like that, but I want it to be done right. But yeah, I always had shitty skin. So now to be able to have skin that someone like you tells me is great is
I love your skin. Your skin is so beautiful.
Changing. Thank you.
And then I'm always excited to see you in fashion because I have to be honest, I'm excited that brands are expanding to be more inclusive size wise. It is my pet peeve when a brand says like, we have all sizes now, and then you click on it and it's just like 3 outfits in gray in the plus size range, and I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, or it only goes up to 3X, and I'm like, there needs to be, we need to work towards.
And we also we didn't get into this, but we talked about in one of the early episodes of our podcast, we talked about the strawberry dress and about like, yes, because we were like, because credit is a big thing for me. I'm like a real credit bitch.
Yeah.
But the first time that we all had ever seen the strawberry dress was you wearing it. And it was like fucking amazing. And I know that you wrote like you got put on worst dress lists and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then fucking Harry Styles wears it. he is a snack. And like some skinny, twiggy Instagram type girls wear it. And then it like is the new hot thing. And you're like, hey guys, guess what? Guess who had it on a year and a half ago? Your girl right here.
Yes. Yeah, it was totally frustrating to, I know I wore, like, people were like, you wore a cottagecore dress to the Grammys and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, when you get invited to the Grammys, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. But until you do, be quiet. I loved that dress. I felt so
That dress is
gorgeous in that
amazing.
dress.
Perfect for the Grammys,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Thanks. I felt great. And yeah, well, you're right. When it like went viral on TikTok, literally, everyone, there was somebody that tweeted, that's where I saw it gone viral, basically saying like, tested it first. And when I spoke about it, everyone was like, you're just mad that they made it popular. And I go, listen, I don't care about who popularized it. I just care that we have an issue societally where it's only deemed as fashionable or trendy or whatever because slender framed folks are wearing it when, in the reality, I wore it long before people were actually talking about it, and people trashed me, like all those Instagram polls that people do. I was getting mentioned in stories like crazy, and people were like, she looks like crap. Like everybody hated it. So it was just kind of funny. And I have it in my closet, actually in my room right here. And it's probably now one of my like favorite pieces that I own. I think like if I ever have a museum of clothing like Dolly, I want my strawberry dress to be in it. And I just got when I was in London last, I got my bodysuit that I wore on the cover of Cosmo. The designer had been holding it for me, and she was like, oh, I wasn't sure if you wanted it. And so she met up with me and gave it to me. And that was right before COVID. And I was like, look at the universe, because I probably wouldn't have gotten it if it was for that. So I have that too, which means a lot. So
I love that.
Nice.
Well, listen, like even if it's not ever, maybe you donate it to a fashion museum or something at some point.
I'm gonna have a museum of my clothing.
There you go. Put it in that journal.
Put it in the journal. But here's like the thing that I think that people did sort of miss in that strawberry dress debate that I just want to like say one more time here, which is that for years, as somebody who's like been in those like rags mom, like used to be in the like who wore it best competition things, or even what was your friend Joan Rivers' show, Casey?
Oh, Fashion Police.
Without a doubt, and I said this from the fucking beginning.
Yeah.
Whoever the skinnier person would be the winner of the competition.
Yeah.
And it always was like so fucking obvious to me and so annoying. And and to keep perpetuating this idea that the only people that can look good in clothes are like the people with the least amount of body is so insane. Because it's really like anything else. Like, and I know people like sort of, it's sort of hard to understand until it just changes, right?
Yeah.
Like, people don't get that. Like, they're like, but I just think it looks better. And it's like, you just think it looks better because you haven't like been retrained in your brain.
Yeah, your brains are broken.
Well, your brains are broken from birth.
Yeah. But also, that is the issue. And it also is because mainstream media and fashion and media has only shown that particular body type. And we have only celebrated that particular body type. It's literally only been the past few years where you have seen, folks in larger bodies existing in high-end fashion and being celebrated. And literally only the past 2 seasons have we had major plus size models on the runways wearing major designers, like literally the past 2 years. So it's just, that is the big issue. And that's why it's so important when these brands do these diverse campaigns, like even the Olay one that you were part of, even whatever things that I've been grateful enough to be a part of. That's why it's so important to be mindful of who you're casting in this, because it literally changes how people view what is perceived as like beautiful and quote unquote normal. We have to like normalize
quote unquote normal. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
just getting to see a mannequin in a store to like know how the fuck a pair of jeans might look on you,
Yes.
like, and to feel like you even are welcome or like you even belong in the store, like when you're a regular person. I've been listening to this podcast. There's this really popular podcast You're Wrong About, but one of the hosts has been doing this podcast called Maintenance Phase. That's all about like dieting in the diet industry and it's just about how like it just doesn't work. It's all a scam. It's all a scam. And like it just does not
anyone
work.
who watched like The Biggest Loser ever knows that it's a scam because it's like
they tried to get me to be on The Biggest Loser. But it was at the start of my career, so no one knew who I was. So it wasn't like it was like Tess Holliday on The Biggest Loser.
Oh my God.
But they asked me to do it, and I'm so glad that even then I had the integrity to say no, because it was so demoralizing to see fat folks pulling airplanes. Because I'll tell you guys what, I have worked out my entire life. It wasn't until Pilates that I found something that my body loved and that I was drawn to. And I'm actually eating more now than ever because I'm recovering from an eating disorder, and my body has changed. It's not because I'm on like a diet.
Yeah.
So, once you realize how, I mean, I could talk forever about diet culture, but all of this, like the theme of this podcast, I think is just, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah.
And it's a shame because, you're just made to fucking hate yourself. And it's like the number one cause of bullying from like the second that you're born, the second that you're sent to school on a bus when you're 6 or whatever, and inanimate objects make you hate yourself, chairs and mannequins and, and let alone people and articles of clothing, and everything's not made for you.
Also, dating while fat sucks. I'm so glad I have my cats and my kids, because now I'm just it's awful dealing with all of that, like you said, Casey, and jumping on top of the how people treat like plus size folks dating is ridiculous. But yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
I feel so lucky because my partner, my husband, I think that he's a wonderful person and just has always seen me as like a person, which is like, but even that gets like a little unhealthy because I'm like, he sees me as a person. Well, how fucked up is that I'm like so grateful that someone sees me as a person? Like fucking of course. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild that I'm like, yay, he deserves all the cookies in the world for seeing me as a person. But then also he's had to watch people treat me like shit.
Yeah.
And be
absolutely.
like, he's had to watch his friends treat me like shit. And be like, and then have to make a choice. Like, what do I cut this person out of my life? Do I punch my friend in the face? What do I do?
I mean, both. I think is the answer.
It's wild.
I mean,
it's wild.
I think both is appropriate. Yeah.
I think he'd be like, honey, you should punch my friend in the face.
I mean, probably closer to the truth.
The best
yes,
course
but
of action in that case.
I mean, I know. I just, I think, but Tess, like, again, circling back, so grateful that you were so sure of yourself and your abilities, AKA you call it delusional. I'm going to call it an amazing amount of confidence and belief that like you were meant to do this because you like have opened the door for so many people.
Yeah.
And have started countless conversations. And so, fuck the late night shows that haven't had you on. No shade, except all shade to them. And we keep going, right? Like we keep,
and we keep going for like our kids and for the fact that like we want to change people's brains. Like we have to. And I'm like, I have to do my own fucking work myself. Like I have had to, and I've had to like retrain my own biases about like fat phobia and like even just things that I, you know, wouldn't even think twice about like somebody saying and then being like, oh yeah, no wait, that is fucked.
Yeah.
But once you like, it's like learning a new language, dealing with your fat phobic tendencies or your biases based in things that like, honestly, it's you couldn't help the household you grew up in, but now you have to learn how to speak a different language and your brain will click at some point, but it's fucking practice. And like, you just have to keep retraining. And when you're gonna fuck up, but don't be afraid to ask questions. And like, you know what I mean? Because I still struggle sometimes. And I'm so grateful to like my friends and my sister and people who've educated me and, you know, and for my own sanity, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I have, you know, I have said this a lot throughout the podcast, but, you know, I do really love and admire you, but not just because I was a fan of your mom's and you. No, I'm just kidding. Before I met you, I was going to say you, but your mom was funnier.
My mom was funny.
I was a fan of, you know, your work long before actually being lucky enough to call you a friend. But I was going to say something, but ADHD, I forgot what it was.
I'm going to say, I love you, Tess. I'm going to let you go.
I love you too.
And I cannot wait to go to Disneyland with you.
Tess, it was such a pleasure talking to you. You're a ray of sunshine.
You are such a ray of sunshine, and even lighter and freer and like just living it all, just beaming. And I'm so excited to watch where you go in the next several years, because I just like the whole world is opening up now, and like we thought it was before, but let's see where, you know, it's gonna go.
Honestly, I'm halfway vaccinated, and when I get that other vaccination, I am going to make out with everyone. So.
But I mean, it's the summer.
All right,
of
let's
just
get in line.
Fucking making out.
No one's getting out without getting smooched on.
I'm serious. I'm with you. I'm actually 100% with you. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Guys, we're back with Tom Lenk. Just still chatting about toilet paper.
Tom asked during the Tess interview, when you guys were listening to it, how we felt about single ply versus double ply. Busy, you said double.
I'm a double. I'm like a Charmin. I'm a Charmin bitch. I love that bear. I love its clean asshole. And I love...
You know what? They have a commercial right now that I've been seeing a lot about where the bears all have itchy assholes, I guess, because they're not getting their assholes clean enough. And I'm like... I guess that's like a problem.
Dear Charmin bears, that's actually a different situation. What's the thing that Kristen Bell had, like all her kids brought it home from preschool or whatever?
Ringworm?
The itchy booty hole, pinworms. Pinworms. That's what those bears have.
I mean, I have to think, like, bears probably do get a parasite every now and then in the forest. That's maybe like maybe it's a toilet paper thing, but maybe it's like more serious and those bears need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Also, maybe they're wiping too hard.
I'm a single ply because I like to have, I like to be gentle down there and I like to have control. Sometimes there's just too much. It just seems like the Charmin stuff. Sometimes it feels like there's just too much of it, you know, and it just leaves.
Well, you can't, I use less. Like a Charmin, I really feel you could do one square. Because that's just like, that shit is just like very plush. Tom's face right now. I actually almost thought you were frozen because you're just like, Okay, wait. Guys, we asked, Tom, do you think that like we're living in the Sims world or that this is like a Matrix or what? Like, what's your feelings on it?
Are we living in a Matrix? Are we each in our own matrix then, or are we all part of somebody else's thing?
We don't know. We don't know.
Like it might all
Up
be a
for
big
debate.
video game that someone's playing.
Do you
Yeah.
exist? Do both of you exist in my mind? Are you characters I created?
Do we, or do you exist only because, well, like, or are we all being played by different players?
I feel like I don't think I'm someone playing a video game and I'm their avatar. I don't think so. Because I feel like no. And also I don't think about it that much. The thing I do think about though that's sort of related is, do you think that, I think about this a lot, do you think that planet Earth is a being, like, you know how we have bacteria living on us or parasites living on us, and like we get a rash and then we scratch it and then we have to like kill, we have to take medicine to kill it off. Do you think that the Earth, in a way that we can't understand it,
Conceptualize.
is a being, and like we are the parasites on it, and like it's scratching us, it's like, setting
It's like
an Earth
Horton
like,
Hears a Who shit.
yeah, like, and do you think that then the Earth is a being parasiting on another being, which is the universe, and it just goes on forever? And like, are the other planets, are they all beings and they all sort of communicating? I'm not on drugs, I swear.
No,
But
listen.
are they able to communicate in ways, and maybe some of them are dead and frozen, just still floating? I don't know.
Whoa. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I would like to get stoned and talk about this more.
Okay.
I think that there's some version of something, some fucking crazy ass shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, and I have the same things that like repeat and pop up, and like things that are just real fucking strange. If it isn't a video game, I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Who's running this shit?
Yeah, like deja.
You know what I mean?
What if deja vu is really like something?
Well, that's deja vu is part of it, right? Like,
And,
and,
like, the-
timelines, like what?
I want to go to the timeline where I'm like monetarily really successful and having a great time.
Right?
Maybe
There
you need
go.
to do a timeline jump.
Well, here's what I'll tell you, Tom. Like, this is a very comforting thought, is that sometimes when you're having a bad time, it is very comforting just to be like, hey, there is a timeline that exists where things are going fucking awesome for me.
Yeah.
So let me just think on that one for a minute.
And wait, I saw Marcella Kroll, who's the psychic that I love, the tarot card reader online. She participated in this, like, I don't know if it's like sort of like a meditation session called a timeline jumping session with a person named P the Fairy.
Okay, I'm
not-
laughing.
You guys, we can't make it up. But P the Fairy, I need more information before I commit to wanting to do a session of timeline jumping.
Okay.
But P the Fairy does these like guided timeline jumps.
Well, be careful, Busy, because did you watch Behind Her Eyes on
No,
one
what's
of the
that?
various?
Yes, I've been dying to talk about
What is it?
It's the
What is it?
craziest show on Netflix.
It's a show on Netflix, and I'm just cautioning you to be careful. Just be careful going out of your body.
Yeah, you think it's a murder mystery show, and then it's about astral projection. So,
And I'm going to just say be careful.
I really do. I meditated on the airplane, and I really do have like, can get like, when I meditate, I get like, it is wild. I like go deep so fast.
maybe you're outside of your body.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Prince, I think Prince kind of was into all of this stuff. He believed in this stuff kind of strongly. I'm going to send you one of his albums, Busy. That
Okay, please
I think
do.
You'll like it.
Talk about someone who like maybe was in touch with another timeline or other things that we can't conceptualize. I feel like, don't you think he was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he had this feeling of like everything you believe is true and you are everything and everything is you and everything has happened before and everything will happen again. And, but still you can evolve, but everything is the same shit, different time. I don't know. It's really interesting. But there's this album, Artificial Age, that I think is like a little bit of like a handbook for like saying goodbye. But like, in my opinion, Prince fam, don't get after me if you don't think the same thing. But I think it's when he knew that like his life was drawing to a close. He had a couple albums after that, but I think that's when he sort of knew like, I'm not long for this world, but also like, I'll be beyond this. Don't worry about it.
Also, not to sort of bring it back, I wonder if when his coming of age, if there had been more options open to him as far as being queer or gender non-binary or fluid, I wonder if he would have, I wonder about like, and I know he was really religious as well, but also.
Yes. This is like, we could do a podcast that's like a week long about this. There's so much. And I do want to do a podcast that's a week long about this with you. There's so much to talk about. It's like, so much. Like you talk about Prince, people love to talk about Purple Rain, people love to talk about, there's like 5 albums that people love to talk about, but there's so much. And just like we were talking about Lil Nas X, like doing, basically giving people like a graduate course in this one song, like Prince was really doing things on like 77 levels that people are just like, oh no, I love Purple Rain, but he was really, like doing a whole thing that is super fascinating, and that whole like gender construct thing is really, really super fascinating to me. Anywho,
guys, it's all super fascinating. Do you guys see numbers a lot? Do you see the like repeating numbers? 111, 1111, 222.
Yeah, I always see like my favorite numbers.
That's cute. Hey, should we read this letter or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I talked about the Matrix shit, Tommy.
Yeah.
My glitches in the Matrix. I've had a few recently that are pretty wild.
Yeah, I was telling you about one that I had too that was really weird. Okay, so Busy, read the letter.
Okay, so we asked people at home if they wanted to, they could write to our email address, which is busydoingherbest@gmail.com, to share their own glitches in the Matrix stories or whatever their Sims theory is or whatever video game, whatever they think. And here's one from someone named Pamela, who wrote us and said, ladies, you asked for our crazy shit Sims Matrix fuckery in life. Here's mine. It's smallish, but I'll never forget it. I was driving to work in the morning. I'm from the Detroit area. I won't bore you with highway numbers. And I was passing one of those electronic billboards where traffic alerts and other up-to-the-minute reports are posted by the government. As I glanced at the billboard out of the corner of my right eye, I saw that it said something about an accident, but I couldn't see the details. The billboard was behind me. It was too late. And I thought to myself, oh shit, what did that say? And suddenly there was the billboard again coming up on my right. Not another billboard, the same one. I drive that route 5 days a week. There are not 2 of those billboards within a mile of each other. The same billboard popped up again, and I had enough time to read the message, allowing me to get off the freeway and take surface roads to the office to avoid the wall-to-wall traffic only 2 miles ahead. I made it to work on time that day, but I was useless for the first hour because I was so stunned by what had happened. I thought about needing to read that message, and the Matrix abided. So convenient, so trippy. Thanks for the pod. It's one of my favorites. That's fascinating.
Like, were they both real, or was one like a vision? You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe it's just like when your Netflix freezes and just a little glitch.
I think it was just a jump. Yeah, it was just like it was like a glitch in it was literally like a glitch
that she just saw. Have you ever seen that video of like when the basketball players are like they're doing a play and
Tom,
then they
have
all
you ever looked at? Have you ever seen this? Okay.
There's a video. I don't even know what the team is because I'm so not a sports bitch, but there's basketball players. They're doing a play. They're playing a game, and then they all turn and they move and they are exactly in unison, like they're doing a dance, and it's so strange. It's the strangest thing.
It looks like a video game. It's the craziest thing.
And were they conscious of it?
No. They're just totally in sync.
They're just 100% in sync, all moving together. It's the weirdest thing, and people are like, "It's a glitch in the Matrix,"
or hive mind, or
so weird. It's like all their programming is together.
Well, also BT Dubs, I don't want to blame your electronics issues on me, but I don't wear watches anymore because I killed so many of them.
Casey, tell Tom about me.
Yeah, you kill everything.
Wait, what? Are you a slider as well? I'm in a Facebook group. It's called SLI, like street light interference. A lot of us have like street light things happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I kill all electronics.
Yeah.
I power down things. I turn streetlights off.
Yes.
My car, honestly, you can put this in the Facebook group. Just if people are considering it and you have this ability, don't get one. Because the car has never functioned properly because it's all electronic. And Ray has taken it to the dealer 7 times and they're like, there's nothing wrong with this car. This car is fine.
Yep. I didn't realize there's others like me out there. I've been known to I had to purchase 3 of the same TV before I got one that worked. That when you would plug it in and it would turn on. It's stuff like
you are both very energetic, so maybe you're just sucking.
Our energy is a lot.
It's a lot. My theory is we're functioning on high frequencies, and maybe it's part of the Matrix. Maybe it's a Prince thing. It's just we're vibrating on something that isn't just not ready for this plane. This plane isn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I just went so weird. I feel like I really opened up in ways I haven't on this podcast. Is this a healing? Is this
welcome?
Consider this a health and wellness podcast? I feel
it is.
Healed.
Yeah. Welcome to Busy Phillips is doing her best.
It's not, it's definitely not FDA approved as that, but but we did invent pussy mints and butt strips and
Hey guys listening, do us a favor. If pussy mints exist, please don't tell us about it.
Yeah, because
let us just believe,
and we don't think
let us live.
We don't think your pussy smells. We just think the area around your pussy.
Even if it does, it's still great.
It's great.
It might be delightful to have
great.
A little. Also, find you somebody who thinks it does smell great. You know what I mean? That's what we're all supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where the pussy come in. If you like the way it smells, that's the ad. If you like the way it smells, but other people aren't accustomed to it or ready for it, then that's when you would want a pussy mint. Maybe. I'm work in progress.
If you don't love this pussy at its worst, you don't deserve this pussy at its best. Is that a meme that we?
I was just going to say, is that new merch?
I hope so. I hope so.
I do too. I really do too. All right, guys, listen. I gotta go. You gotta go. Everybody's gotta go. This podcast is too long. Sorry if the sound sucks, but guess what? You didn't even have to fast forward through commercials, but don't worry. Those commercials are coming back.
They're coming back.
They're not called commercials on a podcast. They're called what?
Ads.
Just ads.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom, we love you so much.
We love you so much.
I feel my skin is clearer. My hair is shinier having spent this time with you.
I agree. I agree with all of it for all of us. And you at home, I hope that your skin is clearer and your hair is shinier. And, I haven't given you a toe fungus update, Casey, recently.
Oh, bummer. We're out of time, everyone.
All right. Love you guys. Hey, guys, until next week, we love you.
We love you.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh, no.